Happy Friday, Lucy. So again, this is your maths lesson. So we'll have our guided practice. You'll listen to me, give that, and then you'll complete your independent practice. And remember, you can watch this PowerPoint as many times as you want so you can understand the lesson input. And for our warm-up today, we are going to practice our 5 times tables. So let's start. 0 times 5 is 0, 1 times 5 is 5, 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 5 is 15, 4 times 5 is 20, 5 times 5 or 5 squared is 25, 6 times 5 is 30, 7 times 5 is 35, 8 times 5 is 40, 9 times 5 is 45, 10 times 5 is 50, 11 times 5 is 55, and 12 times 5 is 60. Now, as always, we're going to clap and count individual answers. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and you carry on, lovely. And now, as an extension of your warm-up, I would like to see what you can remember of your 4 times tables that we practiced yesterday. So could you complete those questions below? Thank you. So Lucy, our learning objective today is hundredths. And our question is asking us, I'm going to use this piece to represent one whole. So this part here. Okay? Saying, what is the value of each of these pieces? Give your answer as a fraction. Now you should be able to identify what this is and what this is if I use this as my one whole. If I have one column out of 10 columns, I have 1/10. One column out of a total of 10 columns or 10 rows. And so therefore B, if I have 1 equal square out of 100 equal squares, what will my fraction be? Yes, I will have 1 out of 100. So 1/100. So for this next question, I will guide you through A and C, and then you will complete B and D independently. I'm going to use what we discussed on our previous slide, and I know that 1 equal square is 1 out of 100, so 1/100. And I know that 1 column is 1/10. Now I can use these visual representations to compare. So I'm going to say that rather more than, less than, or equal to. So I know 1/10 is more than 9/100. And my more than symbol, remembering my crocodile likes to eat the largest amount because he's so greedy. So that is my more than sign. 1/10 is more than 9/100, and I can use that visual representation. I know there are 10 equal tiny squares, and here there are 9. And also, as a decimal, 1/10 will be 0.1, but 9/100 would be 0.09. So 0.1 is larger, but by how many small equal cubes? Only by 1. Okay, then we're going to look at C. Okay, I have 1/10 and I have to compare it to 20/100. I know that if 1/10 looks like this, if I have another tenth, I'll have another column or another row that has got 10 equal parts. So I know that actually 20/100 is also equal to 2/10. So can you think about which one is more than, or are they equal? Yes, you're correct. 20/100 is larger. So 1/10 is less than 20/100. Can you then have a go at B and D using the visual representations to help you? So this is some more variation to consolidate our learning objective that we've been studying so far this week. We've got to fill in the missing numerators to make the statements correct. And we know that the numerator is the top half of the fraction. So I'm going to do A and D, and you're going to complete B E, C and F independently. So I have 3/10, which on our 100 square would be 3 whole rows or 3 equal columns. But that would also equal up to 30 equal parts. So 3/10 is also equal to 30 1/100ths. Now I'll show you with D. It's actually the reverse. I have 100 spares and 20 as my numerator. If I know 3/10 equals 30 100ths, I wonder what 20 100ths equals if it's equivalent to tenths. Yes, it would be 2/10. I would have 20 equal squares shaded in on my 100 square, but that would also equal to 2 rows or 2 columns out of the whole 10 columns or rows. Could you then have a go at B and C? I'll quickly speak to you about E and F because these are different. They're being partitioned. So I will guide you through E and then you could complete F independently. I have 27 hundredths. So I can have 2/10. Then how many hundredths do you think I will have? Yes, I will have 7 hundredths because I will have 2 columns or 2 rows of 10, and then I'll have 7 individual little squares if I'm using my 100 square as a visual representation to help me. I wonder now if you can partition 67 hundredths into the tens and into the hundredths. Good luck. For our last slide, I'm going to go through another question together with you. These are reckon made from 100 beads, so each reckon represents one whole. We've got to write the fraction represented on the left and on the right side. On A, we have 3 beads, so I'm going to write that there. And 3 beads out of a total of how many beads altogether? Yes, I have 100 beads. I have 3 out of 100 on the left-hand side. Then, if I know I have got 100 beads all together, I'm going to use my number bond to 100 to think about how many is on my right-hand side. I shouldn't have to count them all individually, but if I have to, they are again in rows of 10, and that might help you, Lucy. But I know that 100 subtract 3 would be 97, and I'm using my number bonds from 1 to 10 there. I know that if I have 10 and I have subtract 3, it will be 7. I've just got my tens to consider, which is 90. So 97 hundredths. So 97 beads out of the 100 are on the right hand side. I'd like you to think mentally now what representation is on question B with the left hand side and the right hand side. You have a go at doing that now, please.